You should have, when whoever is trying to submit that person into your lap is definitely a blessed person. Who can surrender yourself to another person? Do you have the capacity? Do you have the capacity to surrender you to anyone's lap or into the lap of being? Either way. If you can surrender yourself into the lap of being or into the lap of anyone, yes. See here, yes, speak. Speak, Abraham.
So, swimming from space to body, that vibration gives you the perfect orgasm, actually.
Yes, it is not an orgasm. Instead, it will be an awareness of organization. It will be an awakening of the organization, the universal organization. The vibration, when it is escalating, we feel it is an orgasm. The vibration escalates beyond the infinite, then we feel it as an orgasm. Otherwise, it is organized. It is always organized. Orgasm is a temporary state of awakening. Orgasm is a temporary state of awareness of the organized, being connected, getting connected. In the initial stage, the orgasm definitely will be there. But eventually, the orgasm will neutralize. To be connected with the organized. Organized. This universe is organized from the organic. It's organic. That's what you feel. Actually, it is not from the organic. That's what we call it is organized, organic. It's not from the organ. It's not organic based. It's not actually organic based. That's what we call it organized. Eventually, organization. See, as we go deep and deep, it's not organic. It's got nothing to do with anything created. Even though we call it organized, because that is where our realization starts with the matter.
Nothing to do with the organ too.
Exactly. So it has got nothing to do with anything. It is always. The fundamental of happening, being, is just it. It's not any purpose. It's purposeless. Why? Because it is oneness.
Yes. I agree. When I said the word orgasm, actually, when people get an excitement through that, people are trying to, perpetuate that thing again and again, but that's not being possible for people. But when we are organized, that perpetuation is there always. When we see the organization inside, we see that perpetual motion between space and matter, space and body.
Exactly. The perpetual motion of happening. Yes, exactly.
So otherwise, we get some excitement from some worldly activities, and we are trying to reproduce that, and we are actually struggling to reproduce it.
Exactly.
But when we see the natural swimming of that wave, then we don't need anything. We understand that we don't need a special struggle created orgasm is not required. That's what we will
Exactly.
come to understanding.
Yes. That's the reason water, we have to respect divine, bow to water. Why? Why water? Why water is very important in life? Why we consider water very important? See, water is recycled, but in all aspects, water remains very perfectly as water. It's got only two, three, four levels: water vapors. Then what? Water becomes cold. Is there any other form? Water vapors and water becomes cold. These are the three fundamental forms of water. Three fundamental forms of water is vapor and ice and water. Is there any other form for water?
No.
No. So the reason we consider water within our building material as a building material is very important. To confirm our status very clearly, water is an important part. These fundamental in this environment can take these three different forms are the fundamental of water. So the water remain divine. So water can give you a wonderful clarity of your existence. So these three forms are possible. So working with water will make you very clearly how you are. That's the reason water, we are using a lot of water. For what? Why we are using water? When we are not associating with water sense, then our clarity will not be exposed. Water sense is an important aspect of one's living. Water intelligence, water schooling, water classification. Yes, water classification is a very important classification of oneself. What can water do to us? Yes, what can water do to us? That's where your attention should be. To be schooled, you should know how water is. Or else, well, you can use air. You are using air. Air bending. Water bending. See, air bending is a wonderful principle of living. You cannot bend the air, you cannot bend the water. See, if you cannot bend the water, you have to blend it with you. Bend and blend with you. If you can bend and blend with water, then you are trying to bend other people and they will break only. They will only break. You don't break anyone. When you bend someone, they should bend and look inward. You are bending another person to look inward, not to break them. You have to bend them, not to break them. So water bending, water bending. Water bending is an important intelligence. You should know how to bend water inward, not outward. You are drinking a lot of water, but you are not bending it inward. Water bending, if you are capable of having that skill of water bending, then air bending is a more sophisticated intelligence of being. You cannot be without knowing the secrets of water bending. It is blending into oneself. Then only water bending is a power. It's an immense power. It's creating immense power of sustainability. There is intelligence of being. Intelligence of being is within the being state only. You cannot learn it from scriptures. Scriptures are just pointing fingers. Everything is pointing fingers into yourself. And you are talking about scriptures. You don't talk about any scripture. If you have read any books, you don't talk about that book. That's showing that you have digested that book. You read many books and you are talking about that book. That means you haven't associated it with honesty. You are dishonest. You are talking about another person. Why? Because honestly you didn't associate with them. Honestly honest association never happened. You're talking about your father, mother, sisters, brothers, and kids. No, you should never talk about any family members. No, never. You are talking about your brothers and sisters and husbands and wives because you were never honestly associating with them. Honest association will never make you talk about them. You will be only talking. You are the only one that should talk.
Never leave the traces.
Never give the trace of your father and mother. Improper association is the reason that we are talking about father, mother, others, and many. The more you talk about others, the more problems you are still not able to digest. Now people are not talking about the living people, they are talking about the dead. See how much problems many people are carrying. They are talking about 5,000, 10,000 historical people still. They are not able to talk about people who are there living with you even. Even if you could talk about your mother or father, that is great. The greatness is much more when you don't talk about anyone. Yes. How can I point fingers at anyone? How can I point fingers at anyone? No. I can never point fingers at anyone and say they are great. Because everyone is great. Everyone is equally the same. You are a victim of their activity. That's the reason that you are saying X did so, Y did so. No. That is not a capacity of living. Capacity of living is beyond imagination. You cannot compromise with your thoughts. You cannot compromise with your thoughts. Thoughts are not for the living. It's only for you to handle it. It's not for the living. Living is completely different, entirely connected with the cohesive aspect of awareness. That's the reason that I always say, you are listening to me. You are here to listen to Sebastian. What will Sebastian do?